What's up guys, Tommy here, and you knew this was coming eventually. Sly 3 is one of the most requested games I've had for the Retrospect series. I'm going to be completely honest and say I can't really get all nostalgic and, you know, I remember doing this from my childhood and whatever, because in all honesty the first time I played this game was actually only a couple of weeks ago. I bought Sly 3 off eBay for God knows how much, but I didn't actually realise at the time that you can actually buy the entire collection of the first 3 Sly games on PS3 in like an HD remastered version or something, so that would have been a great buy, but unfortunately, I'm kind of less tempted now just because I've already bought this one, but I might still get it just to try the first 2 games as well. But this game in particular, I thought this would be a really good game for this series actually, because the great thing about Sly, and I don't know if it's the same for the first 2 games as well, like I said, but for Sly 3 certainly, it has a lot of variety in the game, and you'll notice I've just kind of cut up a load of clips and just kind of stitched them together, in no real particular order, but I just thought I'd show a big variety of, you know, what this game has to offer. So for the most part, the core base of the gameplay is you have 3 characters: Sly, who's the raccoon, Bentley, who's this turtle in the wheelchair here, and Murray, who's the hippo. Now, they each have their own individual roles. This is the guru, by the way, I'll come on to him in a second. They each have their own individual roles. So Sly is the general, kind of nimble, quick, acrobatics kind of guy who can jump on top of stuff and, you know, walk along tight ropes, that kind of thing. Murray is the powerhouse. He does all the damage, he's got high attack, and he can do a lot of, you know, attacking kind of moves. Bentley is the technology kind of guy. He's got all kinds of like really weird, unique moves, like he can shoot sleeping darts at people and do like a jet jump thing, which is pretty cool. So they each have their own unique roles that are defined in the story. And what's great about this game is, unlike a lot of other games you can play, I've really noticed one thing about this, is it really keeps you up to date as to what's going on in the story and stuff. And every little thing you do in the game progresses the story a little bit further. Now that might sound like a really obvious thing to say because, you know, why wouldn't it progress the game? But what I mean is, if you compare it to a game like, I don't know, Spyro the Dragon for example. In Spyro the Dragon you start the game and it tells you up front, hey Spyro, we need you to free all these dragons caught in some stone, and you need to collect some gems, let us know when you're finished, alright? So that's pretty much the start of Spyro, and it just leaves you to it after that. It just says, you go through the game and there's a little story clip at the end as well, just to wrap it all up. Which is absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with that in a game like Spyro. But what really sets Sly apart is the fact that every job you do, like you're told up front, right at the start of the game, okay guys, we're going to break into this vault, which is called the Cooper Vault, which is pretty much like all the history of Sly's family and all the loot they've actually gathered over the years. Just breaking into this vault to try and get all of Sly's history and his loot, that kind of thing. So that's the general overall story, and it tells you right up front. By the way, this I love. This is a picture cryptic thingy, or whatever they call it. The idea is to find the hidden number code, the 3-digit code hidden within the picture. It might look obvious in here just because I show you easily in the video, and obviously once you've done it once it's not really much of a challenge, but the first time you do these are actually really good puzzles, so I love that. But what I was saying was, it defines the whole story at the start very clearly, but then each time you do a new job, like it's divided up into jobs, there's 5 or 6 I think, overall big levels, and you can kind of wander around them as you want. You can pickpocket guards, you can kill them for money and stuff, you can do what you want, you can free roam, but in certain locations on these, now it depends what point in the story you're at, they have these jobs available to do, and I'm actually doing a job here which is to lure the guard onto the pressure plate so I can actually get in there. It's got a very kind of sneaky and stealthy element about this whole game the whole time. There is some kind of direct combat and, you know, loud explosions and stuff at times, but for the most part you're sneaking around, and it really gives you that kind of feeling that you are, you know, obviously just a band of thieves trying to break in, and it's kind of really fun to play. But yeah, every time you beat a couple of jobs, or you progress to the next part of the story, Bentley will kind of go through the plan and explain the next step of the plan and, you know, what's happened so far and everything, so it really keeps you up to date as to what's happening. Because often, one problem I find with games is that sometimes you'll be left to your own devices, and eventually you'll kind of forget what it is you're doing in the first place, so it kind of puts you off, but Sly's really good at keeping you interested, so that's what I love about it. Just luring the guard onto here with a distraction, and you're gonna go to sleep. So bye-bye. So what I was going to say was, apart from the 3 main characters you have, Sly, Bentley and Murray, you also get a bunch of extra characters you pick up on the way. I think you pick up 1 from each level, but I'm not sure exactly on that.
I'm gonna smash a lot of skulls, and I don't want yours to be one of them!
This guy's pretty funny, Murray. The guru you find earlier, you find him in the Australian level. I should probably mention all the levels are kind of in various different environments around the world as well. I really think they did a good job in making all the levels unique, and it just keeps everything fresh. By the way, does anyone think of impossible creatures when they see this? I know I'm just referencing a completely random game here, but impossible creatures here, like, you got tiger arms on these things, you got a snake's head, you got like frog feet or fish feet or something along that. The fish don't even have feet, what am I talking about? Frog feet on those guys, and they just look completely messed up. That's just my personal opinion, but yeah, anyways, this is Murray, and this is the basic combat system of the game. I feel like the combat system is kind of slightly sluggish at times. Like, I'm not a particular fan of it, although the game doesn't actually focus that much on combat anyway, so it's all fine and dandy with me. There are a couple of boss fights which are kind of awkward when you play as Sly to actually fight the boss, and for the most part they involve just following a particular strategy over and over again. But I'm not the biggest fan of the combat system in the game, but overall I think it's perfectly fine for the game itself, given that it's not used that much. But anyways, what I was talking about earlier was the different other characters you get in the game. This is one of them, the Panda King. He just launches fireworks from his back, puts the fireworks in, let's go. It's kind of like the Tempest from Ratchet & Clank, if you guys have played that. It's a weapon where you just hold down one button, it locks onto a bunch of targets, you let go of the button, and, you know, presents for everyone, including these little tentacles on the side of this boat here. But another character you get is the Guru, which I showed you earlier. The Guru doesn't have any attacks himself, but he can camouflage himself as a rock or a tree or whatever it is he likes to camouflage himself as, depending on the environment of the level. And he can also jump on top of the backs of guards and take control of them and kind of ram them into stuff, which is always great fun. Another one is Penelope, who is actually Bentley's girlfriend in this story. And you don't actually control her herself at any point, I don't think, but she has all kinds of gadgets like a remote control car and a helicopter and all that good stuff. Now this is actually my favourite part of the game, and I know I said I was putting the clips in no particular order, but this clip in particular I thought I'd save for last just because it's my favourite part of the game. And playing as Sly, you have the ability to climb up poles and, you know, walk along these really thin ledges and swing off hooks, that kind of thing, which is kind of my favourite part of the game because it really makes you feel like you're a thief and you're infiltrating some kind of weird lair and, you know, being a ninja, that kind of thing. So it's just what I love about this game the most. And I didn't actually realise this until I started recording for this video, but once you've beaten the main storyline, you can go back to any of the jobs you want to just do them again, which is always great fun, especially for missions like this. And it also unlocks a bunch of challenges like this one. This is actually based on a job within the game, but it's put under a time constraint for the challenge, so there's some replay value to this game, which is always nice. So, that was the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.